with the upcoming release of Mario Kart World, I thought it would be a good time to do a tried and true practice on my channel, which is none other than my tier list videos. But in this one, I am going to be playing through every track on Mario Kart 8. Okay, I'm not gonna start making excuses for myself, and I am gonna say there's a bit of lag going on here, but believe me when I say that I usually play better than this. But yes, excuses aside, I introduced it. I don't know how much I'll be playing Mario Kart 8, in my personal life, but also in my channel once the Switch 2 comes out. But it is a game that I've put plenty of hours in, and so it's time for me to, or I thought it was, a fun idea. Well, yes, a fun idea for me to do a tier list video. So now on this track, which I should have remembered the name before I got on it, Mario Kart Stadium, right? That's what the big sign says. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of this one. I think it's a little boring. I think aesthetically it's cool, like, I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but of all the tracks, it most makes me feel like Lightning McQueen. And so, I think it's fine. I think it's middle of the road. It's not good. I'm gonna say it's a C tier track. I just do not find it all that compelling, and so I think it's a little on the plain side. However, we are moving on to the next track, which is Water Park, a very unique and creative name, because believe it or not, this track takes place at a water park, which I think is a very cute theme. I think maybe the metrics that I'm going to be using to sort of rank these tracks is like the theme, like the aesthetic of the track, along with, I swear you all, it's the reason I'm playing like this is because it's laggy. I swear it's not. I make these turns, expertly when I'm not recording it off of my PC. But yeah, I'm gonna say aesthetic, like track shape, like the turns and everything that you're making, and then maybe like difficulty or like challenge level, because I think some of these tracks are like difficult in a fun way, and then there's difficult in like in an annoying way, and yeah, I think that's an important distinction to make. But I would say this one, although I am playing pretty poorly on it, I would say is a pretty easy track, all things considered. And so see, look, do you see how well I did that turn? I think in terms of theme, I think it's very cute. I do think it's a little boring, but I do like the ones that sort of make you change terrain. I'm gonna say Water Park is I'll say B tier. I think it's good. Okay. We move on now to Sweet Canyon. Now, this one I think has an interesting theme. It reminds me of Wreck-It Ralph. But I don't know why. I think it kind of looks disgusting. Like, it's not like a track full of sweets that I'm like, oh, yummy. I'm sort of like, ew, like, what is that? Like, when I'm, in this area, what is this liquid supposed to be? Like, is it supposed to be like like a soda of some kind, or like a simple syrup that you would put in a cake. I don't know, and it kind of grosses me out. I just like, there's this yellow haze over this track that I just think is kind of yucky. But in terms of it being a fun track, I would say I think it's challenging enough. I think I think I have a fondness for I haven't been using my mushrooms. I have a fondness for the tracks that have this like a cannon that shoots you out. I think those are really fun. I think they can, if you hit someone with like a red shell while you're going through one of those, or while they're going through one of those, it can be quite a game changer, as in like they're a big setback for the person that you hit. And so that can be fun sometimes. I like that it has piranha plants, although they do kind of seem, out of theme. But overall, I think it's like, it's ugly, but it's cute. And I think it's like, it's a fine track. It's not like, I would say it's, I'm right now between B and C tier. I'm gonna say Sweet Sweet Canyon is C tier, probably. Like, when I think about it, when I play, in my personal life with my friends or whatever, if that track comes up, I'm not excited by it. But yeah, anyway, moving on to Swamp Ruins. I think aesthetically, this track is so freaking cool. I like just, I don't know, the concept of it. Swamp themed ruins. It's in the name. But I just like the lighting changes in it. I like the obstacles that are like not all that crazy, but there's still they can still be an issue if you're like making a harsher turn, than like a wider turn than you intended to. But like, I don't know if I said this because I had to take a little break because there was an airplane flying over, and I thought it wouldn't be that loud, but then it kept getting louder. But I like the lighting in this track. I like the like rainbow waterfall off to the left. I like that it's like bright out here, and then the second that you go through this tunnel, and the big wheel thing, but the second you go through this tunnel, like, you can see the rays of light like leaking in through the top, and then this whole, like, what do you call that, like the parachute glider thing opening in the third lap. So something changes in the last lap. It has a decent shortcut. I think this is a really good track. I'm gonna say it's A tier. I like it. I think what's preventing it from being S tier for me is that I think the track feels like the slightest bit simple, but I still think it's a pretty solid track, and so for that reason I would say it's A tier. Now moving on to the Flower Cup, another Mario themed track. Who would have thought, in a game called Mario Kart. But this one's the like, it's shaped like an 8 because it's Mario Kart 8, very unique. Okay, I forgot about the Goombas. Okay, aesthetically, I think this one's kind of all over the place. Like, it feels like I like that whole like upside down world feel, like, like sort of what's going on with gravity here. I think that's fun, but like at the end of the day, it is just sort of like a basic shaped track with just Mario enemies sprinkled around it. Like, well, usually there's a piranha plant off to the left. I don't know why it's not there, but piranha plants and Goombas. But other than that, it's like, okay. I think the mushroom houses are cute. I like that there's I think Peach's Castle. I think that's what it's supposed to be, right? Oh, what am I doing? I need to take a closer look. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think, a little boring. It already feels repetitive to me, and I kind of am like, okay, I wouldn't mind if this ended soon, and so I kind of feel myself just wanting to get through it, and so I think for that I'm gonna put it in the C tier. I don't know. It's not a bad track. It's just boring. I don't know. It's not. It's not that fun. No, as you can tell, I don't ever do timed trials, which is, I think, why it keeps saying new record or asking me if I want to download the data. Toad Harbor. Toad Harbor. Okay, I mean, obviously I played these, so I can sort of start giving my opinion as I go, or before I'm even on the track. I'll say I always love the tracks that have the random characters on the side just spectating. I don't know why I think that's cute, but this one aesthetically is very strong. It sort of feels like I'm racing through an area that I am able to believe. Okay, well, no wall riding for me because the little trolley blocked me. But I'm able to believe this world exists. Or do you know what I mean? Like, not like in real life, but like just the design of it is well executed. But I hate the track. I like the shape of it. I think it's just too many. I should take that top path. But I think it's like, I don't know. I just don't really like it. I don't like this wall part. There's too much like bouncing on it. And I think sometimes it's, not even worth it to take it. I do like that there is a Peach Statue of Liberty. I find that fun. I like the sailboats. Well, it is a harbor track, and so, it makes sense that there would be like boats and things. But I don't know. I think the track itself is kind of, I don't like, oh my gosh, this freaking trolley blocked me off twice. I mean, I was complaining about the wall, so why would I want to take it? But yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. I do like this downhill. I think it's fun. But like, as much as I like the trolley aesthetically, it is kind of annoying. I don't know. I'm going to put this one in B tier. It is aesthetically very cute, but not fun to play, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't like that little market area. I think it's a little annoying. I don't like this part either, so yeah. If it wasn't for how cute it is, I would have definitely ranked it a lot lower, and so it has that going for it. Twisted Mansion. Twisted Mansion. I think this is another one that has very strong aesthetics. I think that, haunted boo stages are really fun. What was I gonna say? I don't know if I, like, between tracks, I keep sort of like rubbing my eyes, and obviously you can't see that. I don't have like a webcam. But I don't know if you like the mic will pick up on me just like rubbing my skin. Does that make sense? And the reasoning that I have for that, okay, I don't love this part. I think the little like parachute thing into this is a little too harsh of a turn. And I don't like these like knights slamming down hammers. It feels a little random, but I do like this wavy part in the library, and then like this mouth that you drive into, and then suddenly you're in, I don't know, underwater with these like dry bone fishes. I don't know, fish. So yeah, I think that part's fun, but then I hate this part. But aesthetically, this part's very like nice. I like it, but it's just a little bit of a clunky turn in my opinion. But what I was going to say was I like that shortcut too, but I was about to say I don't have mushrooms. I keep forgetting that they give me 3 mushrooms in the beginning. I have not been able to record at my normal times, and so I'm recording a lot later than I usually do. Because usually I'll come home and record real quick after work and before I go to the gym. But they've been doing construction near my apartment, and okay, well, first let me say I think aesthetically this one's really strong. I think the track for the most part is fun, except for that one part that I really don't like, and so I think Twisted Mansion goes into A tier. I think it's a fun one. Okay, now we go into Shy Guy Falls. But as I was saying, they're doing construction around my apartment, and they go beyond the usual hours for construction. I'm not sure why, but they go pretty like not late, like as in I'm trying to go to bed and they're still going, but like late as in I come back from work and they're still at it, and then they like even when I come back from the gym, sometimes they'll still be going at it, and so it doesn't leave me a lot of time in the day to record, and so I'm recording this one a little later. So that is my reasoning for why I keep rubbing my face and why I feel tired, which I guess maybe is fitting for an ASMR video, that I am tired and a little sleepy, because I want you to be a little tired and sleepy, or at least relaxed. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's lock in. We're doing, what was this called? Shy Guy Falls. I think this one's kind of crazy. I love this waterfall part. I think it is a fun concept. I like that you at one point you're going up a waterfall and then another point you're going down. I think this, separate route is fun in addition to this one. Whoa, I should not have used the mushroom there. So, there's some variety in it. I do think it's cute. Shy Guys are, how do I say this? I hold a soft spot in my heart for Shy Guys. I think they're very charming. And so, thematically, I enjoy this track. I think it's pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. The design is fun, the track is interesting, there's a little glider section. Oh. Well, yes. But, yeah, I would say this one's pretty solid. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I feel, pretty set on it. I just don't love it, which is why I'm not putting it in S tier. Like, I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to play on this. Like, oh, I'm gonna go out of my way to pick this one. Like, no, but I enjoy it. I think it's very cute and, like I said, charming due to the Shy Guys. Okay, so we did those. On to Sunshine Airport, which, spoiler, is one of my favorites. I really like Sunshine Airport. But let's get into it. Okay, first and foremost, another aesthetically very strong track. I like the theme of just being at an airport. I spoke in one of my videos about getting into travel these past few years of my life, and so it's fun to turn the airport on its head and make it somewhere like fun and amusing, which, I mean, it's fun to travel, but the airport itself is kind of like, but I like this track in the sky. I like the loop around. I like when that happens when a plane pulls up or like flies underneath you. I like them including like baggage claim, and I like the references to Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Sunshine. So I don't know. I think it's very cute. I like it. I don't know. It's a fun shape. It's simple, but it's still like you know. There's points where you can get some leverage on someone. Like I said, when you're flying and like going over a gap, if you get hit, that's usually pretty rough. But yeah, I think this track is pretty fun. I like it, and some obstacles that aren't like annoying, like where you're like, oh god, like why did they do this? Which I have an example in mind. I'll just say Waluigi pinball. I think that pinball on the track annoys me. Which I know people love Waluigi pinball, but you know, I'll save my opinions on it for when I get there. But yeah, I would say Sunshine Airport. Is that what it's called? It's very cute, very charming, very fun, aesthetically pleasing. It checks all the boxes for me, is what I'm trying to say. And so I'm gonna say this is the first S tier. I don't know. I can't find anything that I don't like about this track. I really like it. So we move on to Dolphin Shoals. And this one, we start off underwater with some what do you think? Scuba diving Shy Guys. I keep saying this about all of them. Aesthetically, this one is blah blah blah. I will say I don't like this part that much. It feels a little clunky. I do like the eel, but I don't know. It's just I don't love this part or this. I think it looks cool. I kind of just hate this part. I don't really like. Well, yes. But yeah. I'm not gonna lie. This is not one of my favorites. I think it's a little boring and borders on annoying. As much as I love marine life and, you know, underwater motifs, it's sort of like, meh, I don't know. I don't really like this part. Which, see, it's not just because I can't do the turn. I always do the turn, but it was just an unlucky go at it. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna, for some of these, because I don't have to play them all the way through, if I'm like just, oh, I do like that these rocks are shaped like dolphins. I think that's really cute. But yeah, I think for some of these, I might just, like, if I run out of things to say, like I did this one, then I'm just gonna cut to when I'm done. Which, I mean, maybe I'm just not gonna cut to anything because I'm like right here, so what's the point? Let me not, okay, well, let me not give my editing self more tasks. Although, I mean, like, is it really that hard to do a cut? Anyway, I finished the track, so I think I'm gonna give this one, or put this one in C tier. I just am not, I'm the biggest fan of it. I find it kind of boring. It feels not memorable. It feels like a throwaway. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna go into, I kind of hate this one. And I'm gonna get into what I dislike about it so much. Okay, aesthetically, this one is a mess. Like, what is the theme? Nightclub? Because, you know, I've been to, you know, a handful of nightclubs in my life, and none of them feel like this. Which, I mean, I'm not saying they're going for accuracy here, but I'm sort of just like, well, what's this about? Like, or is this like a rave? Like you're at a DJ set? I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's kind of ugly. It's like an eyesore. It doesn't really make sense to me, like, what is going on. I mean, like, you can say some of the, like this part of the track is really cool. Like, the trail that's left behind you as you are racing, but I don't know. I just kind of find this track like meh. Like, it's ugly, kind of annoying. I would just say there's not a lot to like about it. It gets kind of boring quickly, which, you know, admittedly so. I am getting kind of bored, so I think I'm just gonna cut to when I am done. Okay, you all, I am going to say, have I put any in D tier yet? Is this my first D tier? Yeah, this is gonna be D tier for me. I just don't like it. It's kind of, it feels all over the place. It feels random and it's not fun. So like, you know, what can you do? Okay, we move on to Mount Wario, which now I'm thinking, I'm sort of looking at the recording time. I'm at half an hour, and I'm only, okay, shut up, okay, clock in. Because I sometimes think I start talking about other things, and then I'm too focused on talking about that instead of, like, experiencing the track and giving you my thoughts. First of all, I'm going to say, I think it's fun that you randomly just start off on a plane. Like, is there a sport where you do that? I don't know. But I just like it. I think it's fun that you start off on a snowy, icy mountain that then, in the second lap, transitions to like a cave with a current running through it. So, you know, I don't know. I'm willing to believe that. And then you are then in this, like, what would you call this? I don't know. I don't know if these areas are referential to real things. I'm sure they are, but I just don't know what it is. Then this part, I'm not gonna lie, is hard. I find myself, you know, sometimes having a hard go and crashing into the trees, which I will say, I didn't do so bad considering I'm playing with some latency, I think is the word. But still, I like the challenge. I like that you kind of gotta, like, lock in, you know what I mean? You can't really just, like, half arse it and not try. I think the trees are a genuine obstacle that, you know, they don't spin you out, they don't do anything crazy, but they do sort of, like, if you run into them, you're really slowed down, so you really gotta try. And then I like this ending. I think it's fun. I don't know. I think this is a really strong track. I like it aesthetically. I think it's fun. I am a big fan of the tracks that are just like one straight go through it instead of like laps. And so I'm going to say this is another S tier. I really like it. But, you know, back to what I was saying in the beginning of the video. I wasn't planning on this, but I'm starting to think that I'm going to have to, like, wait, did I do all of them? Yeah, I'm going to have to separate this into parts. Like, I really thought, like, okay, I'll do it all in one go. Like, it'll probably take me an hour, and, you know, an hour-long video is not unique for me, or going over an hour. But now I'm realizing, I'm like, whoa, it is taking way longer than I thought. So, we'll see. We'll see how much I manage to do. I'll try to do half of it now and then half later, or like as a second part, because, you know, then I can separate it to the original tracks, or at least the tracks that are like part of the first cohort, because I know some of these were DLC at one point when they added like Link and Villager to the game, but I did not have the game when they did that. I got it after, so it was like kind of included already. So yeah. Now focusing in on this course, Cloud Top Cruise, I believe is called. Do I love it? No. I think it is fun that it's sort of, oh boy, like the flying ship of the boss fights of some, or like final level of some, whatever, like side scroller Mario games. I think that's fun. I I think the track design itself is kind of like, the shape of it is kind of, I don't love it. I think this part is really clunky, and I know it's meant to slow you down and be difficult, but I don't like it. I don't like this whole like shock thing. I think it's fun that they included the concept of like lightning being a hazard, but I just kind of find it like, can I do the shortcut? Let's see if I can do it. I used to not be able to. Oh, that was the last go. Well, that went by quicker than I thought. But yeah, I think aesthetically, like, or the reference is fun, but aesthetically it's kind of a mess. And I think it's a clunky track overall. So I'm going to put this one in C tier. I don't particularly, love it. So, yeah, it's fine. I don't hate it. It's no, what's that one? It's no Electrodome. Oh boy. Okay. I mean, based on my reaction, I'm sure you're gonna know where I land on this, or stand on this. What is this saying? Where I stand on this, I think is the saying. I will say, aesthetically, it's kind of fun. I think, as much as I hated that yellow tint that was on the cake one, I like the orange tint on this one. I do think that turn particularly is just awful. I hate it. And I don't like this part either. I don't know. I kind of hate this track. Like, there's so little that I like about it. I think design-wise, it's kind of fun. It reminds me of Dune. I don't know. But other than that, I think it kind of sucks. I don't know. I'm just gonna... Yeah, I think I've felt what I felt. I don't want to... Can I just change course? Yeah. We're throwing that one in D tier. I don't like it. It's not like... It's not worth me playing all the way through. I know how I feel about it. I think it sucks. I think the turns suck. I don't like the random bony piranha plant. I don't like the turn right after it. I don't like the glider part. So I'm gonna think that's ECD tier. Maybe I should just do that like one lap. Unless, we'll see. I'll play it by ear, because some of these like change every lap and blah blah blah, and so we'll see. But now we're at, I think, just Bowser's Castle, which is an aesthetic and I appreciate. I think it's fun. I think it is a classic. Okay, I accidentally hit my microphone there, and that is going to be super loud, so hopefully I catch that before I edit it and it doesn't scare me. But anyway, yeah, I think aesthetically this one's very fun, very cool. I like all the lava. I like these, skylights or whatever the heck they're called. They're not called skylights. What are they called? I don't know. I like the hazards of it. I think I really enjoy the random lasers. I think are fun, and I did not mean to run into them when I called them out, but I did. So, as they say, c'est la vie. But yeah, I like it. I think there's plenty of obstacles, which feels fitting for a Bowser track, and that, okay, Lakitu is really, playing with me right there, but the like magma rock Bowser is very cool, so it's really hard. As you can tell, I am struggling, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and say this one is A tier. Yeah, I think I made up my mind, so let's move to the next one. It is none other than Rainbow Road, which, the notoriously difficult track. This one is a more like space station-y, futuristic Rainbow Road, which, I think is a fun concept. The space station, I think the exploration of the cosmos is pretty cool. I like the colors of it. I think it is very fun. It is a track that I took a very long time to get good at. I used to when this one would come up, even when I was doing good, if this one came up, I'm like, well, there goes my lead. I'm about to suffer. But now that I'm better at it, I kind of like it more. which, is a childish way to view things, maybe, but I don't know. I think I like it. I think this part right here feels a little like not out of nowhere, but sort of like meh. Like I feel like they could have done something different. I think as much as I like the theme of Space Station, I think the only thing that I don't love is how like industrial it makes Rainbow Road feel, as opposed to it feeling like not like majestic, but like celestial, if that makes sense. And so that's like the only knock that I'm gonna give it. But I would say it's a pretty whoa. Okay, I was gonna say like and I did all 3 laps without falling, and all I did. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is a pretty good one. Not excellent, but not bad. So let's say this one is a B tier track, and we move on to the next. We are now doing Yoshi Circuit, which, fun shape, Yoshi shaped, very cutesy. I think most people like Yoshi. I think, he's a cute companion, someone you can root for. But, spoiler, I hate this track. I think the lanes are way too small and the turns are way too harsh, and so I like playing on 200cc. That is like my preferred setting. And I understand that part of playing on 200cc is knowing when to brake while you're drifting, and that's what you have to do on this one. But I should probably do the waterfall shortcut. Whatever, I didn't do it. I usually don't do it even when I have mushrooms, because I'm not really good at it. But yeah, I think this one just like, it feels like it needs like some tweaking, because the turns are just like, there's so many of them, and the track feels like the lane feels so narrow, and so it's kind of like clunky to play on. I'm just gonna say this one is, should I just go for the waterfall shortcut without a mushroom? Oops, almost. Okay, well, this one I'm gonna say is C tier. And on to the next. You all, we are now doing Excite Bike Arena, which, very simple shape, especially, I think it's good that they put this one right after Yoshi Circuit, because like there's so many turns in that one, whereas in this one it is like literally just, an oval shape, or like the shape of a track. But anyway, I think this one is pretty fun, because sometimes simple is like, how do I put this? Sometimes simple is what you want. You know what I mean? You don't need to be like, oh, now you're flipped upside down and there's a piranha plant next to you. Which, yes, I'm talking about the Mario Circuit or whatever it's called. But the one that's shaped like an 8. But yeah, I think this one's fun. I think the obstacles are minimal, but still like, a factor. I think it definitely requires you to do a lot more of the like trick jump things, like at the end of the ramps. So I don't know, I like it. I think it's very fun. It would be crazy to put this one in S tier just because of how simple it is, and so I'm gonna say this one is an A tier track. I like it. We now move on to Dragon Driftway, which I will admit is a very hard track, at least for me. Do I think going inside a dragon is fun? Sure. You know what I mean? The random Lakitu art on the sides of on the inside feels kind of like, what is this about? Like, why Lakitu? And why does it look like it's like doing like, I don't know, like kung fu or something? I don't know. It feels a little random, but aesthetically very nice track. I like the lighting. I like the lanterns. And it's challenging in a way where I would say it's fun. As much as I struggle with it and grit my teeth at the turns, I think it is fun, and I lied. It's not fun. But yes, it's a challenging track. I think, it's not one like that you can not try it. Like you really need to be locked in to do well, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? It ups the ante, as they say in the industry. But yes, I think I'm gonna say this one is. I said so many positive things, and then, well, I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's I don't like it that much, but it's good. It's just not like I don't like it. I don't know. It's just sometimes it just doesn't click. Aesthetically, great, but it's just not a fun track to play on. But I appreciate the challenge. Anyway, C tier. We then move on to Mute City, which is based on the F-Zero games, which I have never played in my life. I have no connection to F-Zero as a franchise, and so it means very little to me. But of course, I recognize Captain Falcon from Smash and whatnot. But I would say, I think it makes sense why they pulled up, or referenced this game in Mario Kart. I think it's fun. I do think it's interesting that, they added Link and Villager in them to Mario Kart, but then they wouldn't just do Captain Falcon. You guys used this game but didn't put him in here. Not that I would care. I don't really care that he's not in here. I just think it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I would say I think it's cool that they referenced another one of their games. It's pretty fun. Speed boosters everywhere, so you gotta go fast. A la Sonic. I didn't mean to, quote him, but, sometimes it happens. But yeah, I am going to say this one is a B tier. On to the next. Oh, baby, you know what it is. None other than Baby Park, which is an amusement park for babies. I don't know if that's what it is. I'm just saying things. But this one, I gotta say, is a classic. This one is hectic. It's fun. It's simple. And, playing it on solo does not necessarily capture the, chaos that this track is capable of. But if you've played on it, you know what goes on. Mayhem, you could be in first place getting hit by someone in 8th place, or dropping a banana and accidentally running into it 5 seconds later. I don't know. I think this one's very fun. I think there's a lot to look at in the background, but you almost can't because you always have to be conscious of what's going on. I don't know. I think this is a great track. I really like it. I'm almost done with it, and it was super quick, which I also appreciate it. And I think it's fun that it's 7 laps, you know what I mean? It only makes sense. But yeah, I would say this one's S tier. I really like it. Yeah. I've been cutting through a lot of the tracks and saying okay, on to the next one, not finishing them, but that one was one that I did not feel like it dragged along at all. And I obviously got through it very quickly. We are now at Cheeseland, which thematically, what? What are we talking about? Yeah, sure. As in, I accept this as a concept, of a track and a land made of cheese, but why in this game? Maybe it's a reference to some old game. I don't know. I think maybe my own ignorance might be at play here. I will say this shortcut, golden. You know what I mean? If you're in the 3rd lap and you have at least 2 mushrooms and you do that shortcut, you can go from 8th to 1st if you play your cards right. It is an insane shortcut, and one that I have exploited many, many, many times in my Mario Kart career. Other than that, though, I think it's kind of I don't like the shape of the track. I think that chain chomp feels out of place. Both of them do. Okay, well, I guess I didn't like what I had to say about it, but yeah, it just sort of feels like a weird track, and I don't like the shape of it, and it's like challenging but not in a fun way. So I'm just gonna say this one is C tier. Okay, we now move on to what I looked at the name and then I immediately forgot it. It reminds me of Shy Guy Falls was what I was gonna say. But you know, aesthetically very cute. You know, there are some Shy Guys swinging from some vines on a bridge, and their house is very adorable. Like I said, very reminiscent of Shy Guy Falls. And there's, you know, a stream of water that sort of gives that same feeling of the waterfalls in that track. I think it is very cute. I think the shape of the track itself, I mean, look at that, that part is so cute, like just looking up at all the, you know, bushels of branches. I don't know, foliage perhaps is the more appropriate word. But yeah, I think this is very cute. It is, you know, it's a fun track. It's very charming. It's very cute, and it's fun. There's you know, I like this waterfall part that then leads into, or stream part that leads into the lily pad boost ramps, and one last sharp turn before the end. So I'm gonna say this one is an A tier track. I think it's really good. Also, I hope it doesn't feel like I'm rushing through it now. It's not that I don't want to be doing this, but I think I'm like, oh, I think the way I'm doing it now makes more sense. I'm like, why am I playing all the way through if I can reach my opinion quicker? Well, if I reach my opinion before I even finish the track, and I know how I feel because I'm playing it, and I did a lap of it, and some of these repeat. Anyway, on to the next. We then move on to a track called Animal Crossing, which is based on the Sonic the Hedgehog games. So I think it's fun that they brought Sonic into a racing game because Sonic himself is fast. I wish he was in this track, you know, but what can you do? Anyway, bad joke aside, this is obviously based on the Animal Crossing games, which is a very loved and cute aesthetic. But am I gonna be honest? Yes. Do I like this track? No, I don't. I don't like this part. I think this part is very fun. I like that. Oh, well, I guess it's not, but there's usually balloons here, like the red balloons that you shoot at the sky that act as the item boxes, and so that's fun. I think that's charming, and I like this little beach area. And then after that, I don't like it. I don't like this part. I don't like this harsh, like, random turn, and then, oh, another turn, and then, I don't know. This part's just not that fun to me. I don't really like it, and so I think I'm going to put this one, even though aesthetically very charming, very cute, and I like Animal Crossing. I'm a fan of Animal Crossing. I think I'm going to give this one, or put this one. I keep saying give this one. I'm too, you know, plush review minded, but I'm going to put this one in C tier. Okay, maybe it makes sense for me to stop there because I went through 6 cups, geez, and 4 tracks each, so 24 tracks, and which means there is 24, 48, 72, 96 tracks. Is that true? I don't know if I did the math right, but you know, there's a lot of tracks to get through, and there's no way I could do it all in one video. And so maybe if I do it in the quicker version, like I did like with the last few ones where I don't play it all the way through, like I don't repeat every lap of each track, like I do at least 1 or 2, I think maybe I can get through it quicker. But for now, this is part 1, and if anyone cares, then there'll be a part 2, and if not, I guess that's the only part you get. I'm kidding, I'll probably do it anyway. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Again, sorry if you wanted to see all of it. I didn't think I was gonna be separating this into parts. But it's already, well, the raw file right now is at 56 seconds or 56 minutes and 30 seconds. And so, yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And in the meantime, take care of yourself. Bye.